Hello, it's Mark Twain, and we have Jesse and we have Raven here today.
Hi.
And Jesse is going to talk to us about ethical hacking. What a concept.
That is very true.
I'm actually curious now.
You're actually curious now?
Yes.
Really? Well, here's my question. Do you guys know what ethical hacking is? Just
Probably not.
concept?
Maybe?
Probably not.
I mean, I've heard you talk about it before, but it's not something that I'm super familiar with.
Is it like hacking as a job?
Well, yes.
Or like vigilante hacking stuff?
Vigilante hack. No, it is not vigilante hacking stuff. Vigilantes don't get paid.
I don't think it has to do with actual hacking.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
I think it has to do with ethics and breaking ethics.
Breaking ethics.
Breaking ethics.
Breaking
I said
ethics.
it. You heard it here.
Wow. Ooh. No, arson is perfectly ethical. Arson is my pride and joy. If there are any cops listening to this, that was a joke. For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Yes.
Okay, so Raven is actually more correct. Ethical hacking is a job.
I see how it
And
is.
people, you are an independent contractor.
You
And
are your own boss.
You are your own boss, yeah, except for when everyone else is your boss, which is basically all the time. So as an ethical hacker, people hire you to hack into their mainframes, to hack into their systems, they just say, hey, we want you to steal our files for us. And you say, okay, I'll get paid to steal your files. And you hack in and you steal their files and you say, okay, here's how I hacked in. And then they go and they change their security systems. There are some crazy stuff been done. All sorts of people hire these people, and they find creative ways to get in because they think like criminals. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes
imagine having a job where you're actually a criminal.
Right? How do you advertise that?
I am a criminal. Hire
I'm a
me.
paid
I have
criminal.
been to prison for 8 years for hacking the government. Please hire me.
Exactly. Add that to your resume.
Anyway, so one of these stories, sometimes it goes past hacking and it's just straight up, please rob us. Steal our things.
Yep.
And people say, all right. And so, my dad, where he used to work, they hired an ethical hacker. And they wanted him to get in and steal as much files as he could off the main computer. So what he did was, he printed himself a little card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he drove around to the little parking garage where the guy was, and he held up his card and he said, my card's not working. And the guy said, okay. And he let him in. He didn't even read. He didn't even say, what's your name? Nothing.
Wow.
Do you work here? And he went, come on in, bro. And so he drove in. He parked. He walked in the building. He went upstairs. He got on the computer. He got on the main computer, plugged a flash drive in, and just got everything.
I've seen a lot of things that people talk about, like, oh yeah, if you just act like you're supposed to be there, you can get away with anything.
Yeah. The trick is to not be conspicuous.
Right.
Like, as long as the place doesn't have, like, ID doors everywhere where you need to get in. Even though there's ways around it. I could talk about this. But if you're just acting normal, if you're not acting conspicuous, people have no reason to be suspicious of you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that one time I got delivered into your Spanish class, right, Martin?
Yeah.
That was an interesting text.
It was a day.
For example,
Don't worry about
It was
that.
a day.
I was shadowing someone as part of one of the projects I have to do for school. I was shadowing someone who was working at a lab that was in close association with the hospital nearby. And what was cool is to get into like the behind the doors scenes of the hospital, you had to have a key card access, or you had to go talk to the front desk and they would let you in. But I noticed this because some of those key card doors, they lead into the stairwell, and stairwell is how you get up and down. And me and my mentor, we had just picked up some samples that we were going to run tests on, and he opened the door, and I wasn't suspicious because this person was wearing full scrubs and stuff, but they just grabbed the door and walked through. They acted as they were supposed to be there, I could tell that. But they just they didn't need to scan any idea. They just walked through the door. And so like that struck me. Like, you could just, as long as you're not waiting conspicuously, you could just enter the door when someone leaves it, and no one would question it.
There's this guy at our school. What's his name? Does it start with a C?
I don't know. You called him like the Hogwarts ghost.
The Hogwarts ghost of the school, and I mean that in that he just floats through the walls. He's just he's everywhere. What's his name? Curtis? Is it something like that?
I don't know.
Brock. He looks like a Brock.
He does.
And I don't think he attends our school, but he's just there. He is in every classroom simultaneously. He is never where he's supposed to be.
Nope.
And no one asks him about it. All the teachers are just like, oh, hey, bro, come on
They
in.
all know who he is, and they're just like, you should go to your classroom, and then they ignore him.
I think he has several Fs, but whatever.
Probably.
Did he pass this year?
Probably not. Like, think about it. I remember I was hearing like someone talking about how they knew that the person was in one of their classes,
Technically.
and he was never there.
Anyway, yeah, there's another ethical hacker guy who noticed a flaw. Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I don't know who it is, or when it happened, or where, so I can't give any of those details because I don't know. There was a guy who noticed a severe flaw in airline security.
Oh.
And he tried for 4 years to get these people to hire him. He was like, hey guys, at this point I'll do it for free. I need to show you what's wrong. And they wouldn't hire him. So one day he was on a plane. He wasn't planning to do it. He was just flying. He was like, screw it, I'm doing it. And so he got into the in-flight entertainment system, where you just like watch movies. And he was just like, boop, 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 boop. And he made the plane just go ever so slightly to the left.
How?
Which is a lot for planes, because that will get you miles and miles off.
Needless to say, they didn't arrest him. They didn't acknowledge him either. They were just, they fixed it, and they were like,
We're not going to say anything.
We're not
going
going
to
say anything. You don't say anything. No one says
He
anything.
did say things.
Apparently.
Clearly, you know the story.
Yeah. I don't think it was on the news or anything.
No.
Anyway,
Ethical hacking.
ethical
Awesome.
hacker.
Oh, yes.
I want to be paid to rob places.
I would be so good at that. Like, I have a really good sleight of hand.
You do? You
Yes.
never use it.
Okay, stay away from Raven, guys.
Yeah.
Keep your wallets
keeping
in
my
your
keep
vault.
your
butt
candy
pockets
away.
away from you.
It's your candy. It's
Your
your
candy?
candy. Yes. Being a child in a house where you know where the candy is, you learn to be very good at sneaking it out.
You gave us a Milky Way bar and said this goes to the highest bidder.
That was great.
Chaos ensued.
I
Tell
don't
us,
remember how I got the Milky Way bar. It was like some whack thing.
Tell us about the guy who got into like the fashion thing.
Oh, so this is a story. I believe this is on YouTube if you want to go look it up. But there is a guy. He said, okay, I have a goal, and my goal is to go get into London Fashion Week. London Fashion Week is London Fashion Week. It is a big thing.
Very hype.
Apparently it's very hot. I've never heard of it, but apparently it's very big in the fashion world. And he had a plan. It was a simple plan. The plan was act like you belong there. And so he got
Comes back
this
down to not
ridiculous
looking
outfit
conspicuous.
made of like scraps, made of like junk clothing, and he just had his friends cut it all up and sew it all together. And he put some shades on, and he had his friends act like paparazzi and like guards. And he walked in with the little. He acted like he was
Stuck
the
that
boss.
hand out.
And you know what the security did?
Let him in.
They let him in. I don't think he even told them his name. I cannot. But there was a guy standing there. There was a guard, and he just went, "Yes, sir." I don't know, man. And then he posted a YouTube video about it. I got into London Fashion Week. I don't know what he did after. I don't think he went down a runway or anything. I wouldn't.
No.
I would not.
That would be drawing attention to oneself,
Oh, yeah.
especially since they probably got that scheduled. But hey, you got in for free.
You got in.
A very
Anyway.
prestigious event you got in for free.
He also went to Paris Fashion Week, but that didn't work so well because they were like, hey, weren't you the guy that got into London Fashion Week?
And he was like, wait a
No.
minute.
I mean, he got in still, but I think they made him pay.
But hey, he didn't have to wait in any lines.
Nope.
He just got in.
I wonder if you can do the same thing at Disneyland. Just get a Mickey Mouse costume.
You probably
Walk
could.
in the front gate.
It's like the time I made a comprehensive breakdown just because I was bored about how to sneak into the fair without paying money. Because I was like, I don't want to pay an admissions fee, but I want to go to the fair. Because the admissions fee is a lot.
Right.
And so I was just like, I actually, like, I had to drive past the fair a couple times because I was doing, I had to do other things. And I drove past the fair, and I was just like, I could break into this. Like, I literally unintentionally, I scouted the place out.
Yes,
And then I looked at it,
unintentionally.
I looked at satellite images and stuff, and I was like,
He accidentally made a 13-step plan.
when you accidentally make a 13-step plan to break into the fair.
I've
Never
done
did it.
kind of similar things.
But sometimes when you're bored, you're just like, how do I commit a crime? You never actually commit the crime, you just hypothesize.
I don't do that with crimes, but yes, I do that.
Yeah, nothing major. I'm not like, how would I rob a bank?
No. Please
Plus-
don't arrest us.
But sometimes I'm just like, well,
For legal purposes, this is a joke.
sometimes I'm just wondering, like, how would I do something? Like, you could do this. Just how? It's like,
I've always wanted to go to like a fair or Disneyland or maybe a theater event. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I go to the theater and I walk up I walk up to the backstage door and they're like, "Hey, no moves allowed." And I look at them in the eyes and say, "James sent me." Fun fact, James is the #1 most common name in America. Write that down.
write that down.
Write that down.
Believable. I think I know 2 of them.
Well, it depends on how big the cast is.
Personally.
Like, the Hadestown cast is
I know
small.
7 Jameses.
There's
Well,
also Jacob.
There's also crew besides cast.
Jacob.
Oh, true.
I also knew 7 Jacobs at one point.
Well, then they'd probably... Well, I don't think that works in such a small setting.
Don't think so.
Yeah, because then they'd, ask that person and, like, have that person come meet you or whatever. Especially if it's something prestigious like that. I think
Okay, so where would it work?
I think one thing that you could do, this isn't the exact same scenario, but it's a similar scenario, is every time I go to a movie theater, I'm like, there's literally zero security here. Like, I could finish my movie, I could go sit in another movie theater and watch a movie. And if someone says, hey, that's my seat, I just move one seat over. I just be like, oh, my
You're
bad.
entirely correct. I never thought about that.
They don't check your tickets when you're in the hallways with the movies. You could just go walk in and sit down and no one would stop you. I haven't
spent
done it
12
before.
hours in a movie theater, the movie.
But sometimes I'm just like, there's no security. Like, I could watch a bunch of
The
movies
only
if I wanted.
I've noticed the people that work there are just like a bunch of teenagers
They're
or like
all
young
our age.
adults.
Yeah.
They're all just like, I think that, there was one, there was a field trip that we went to a theater. I felt so sorry.
I'm sorry,
for the people
Raven.
that worked there.
Say that again. A theater.
Movie place. I don't know. I'm like
The correct
dyslexic
way.
It's
or
on record.
something.
Movie
She
place.
said theater.
Theater? Is that the word?
Theater. Theatre.
Theatre is the art.
I
Theater
felt
is the
so
place.
sorry for the people that worked there because there's this giant horde of teenagers swarming into this place. I'm just like, man, I wouldn't want to work here right now.
Honestly, though, I would work at a movie theater. Like, you get free movies. Like, that's hype.
I
would do
thought
that.
you were passionate about the benefits of being a soccer referee.
Oh yeah, that's like an easy job. Like, if you want money, then be a soccer referee. Like, become a soccer referee.
You know what else is
Find
an
your
easy
soccer
job?
referee program and become a referee. In the state where I live, they pay you so much money. They're like, I'm over here like standing on the sidelines for a game watching 11-year-olds kick a ball, and they give me $25 an hour. And I'm over here like, holy heck.
To be fair, it is very hot out.
I mean, it's in
That
the dead of
deserves
winter.
25. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, just put on sunscreen so you don't get
It's
sunburned.
still hot out, but
I
never
mean, it's not that
mind.
bad. Just drink water. Just put sunscreen on.
You know
And
what
then you
else?
just point a flag. It's
You know what else gives you a
free
lot of money and is an easy job? Ethical hacking. It all comes full circle, guys.
Well, You do need to be able to hack to do that.
They'll hire you. They'll hire you. Advertise.
Being an ethical hacker would be a fun job, because then I could legally commit crimes. And that would make me happy. Because then I could be like, I could actually see if my plans would work. Because sometimes I'm just like, the security here doesn't seem that, like, you could just walk in.
Legally commit crimes. The only thing you have to do that is be a politician. Yeah, I got a rim shot.
I am now coming up with a plan of how you could easily steal from, like, some convenience store or other, or just any, like, smaller place at all.
Nepotism.
If they have
Have your friend
even
work
if
there.
they have a uniform. Well, depending on how they get the uniforms.
I mean, you just wear a jacket, and as long as you can unconspicuously slip stuff into your pockets, then you'll be fine.
You don't even need pockets. The way that I do sleight of hand is I just hide it behind my hand.
That works too. Essentially, you just need to, like, have it not appear on the cameras.
You
don't
can't
need to appear
hide
suspicious.
anything behind your hands. Your hands are the size of blueberries.
You
Or-
don't know how much candy I've had.
See, you spend all your time browsing the store, and you slipping stuff into your pockets or into your hands, and then you buy one thing, so they're not suspicious.
Well, you buy, like, 2 things. Because if you're going through the entire store and then buy one thing, that'd be a bit off.
Well, I go through the entire store and buy one thing all the time. I cannot make decisions.
You see, the problem with that is they often have those, like, metal detectors, those detectors outside the store that can sense when you've not paid for something.
I've never been to a convenience store that's at that.
Oh, a convenience
Walmart
store.
has those.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking like a grocery store. Yeah, pro
I
tip,
don't know if
guys,
the difference
never
is a-
walk through one of those with a garage door opener in your pocket. It will go off relentlessly.
Oh. Yikes.
I just had to wait outside.
Oh.
It was really sad.
I would have just, like, I would have pulled it out and shown them how it's the thing that's setting it off, and then put it off to the side, and then gone through to show them that that's what's setting it off.
Facts.
Because,
Yeah, but I'm just awkward and I didn't want to do that again. We were going to multiple stores. It's a
Yeah.
long story.
Oh.
Motorcycle
Person.
man.
That guy's here. Awkward.
motorcycle man interrupts the video.
We're not gonna cut that out.
I guess not.
Well, we're pretty close to being able to end.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Oh.
We've been recording for 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes,
my
we are
gosh.
very good at getting off track. How many of
What do you
us-
mean? We've been talking about the same thing this entire time.
We've been talking about ethical hack.
How many
Obviously.
of us have ADHD in this car?
I
Like one and a
haven't
half
been diagnosed.
1.5?
between all of us.
Oh wait, you're diagnosed.
I haven't been diagnosed, though I would like
yeah, I
to think
haven't
of myself
either,
as
but also-
ADHD.
Like, yeah.
Am I? Probably not. But
Maybe
sometimes I
autism
feel the same way that I hear people describing
It could
how they
be
have
autism.
ADHD feel.
It's
It could
like
be.
1 for you, and like 3/16 for me, 5/16 for him. I don't know.
Why 16ths?
That's just math.
Just math.
You're whack.
Check my math. It's correct. That adds up to 1.5.
Okay.
I'll take your
I didn't
word
go
for
to
that.
state in 5th grade for nothing.
Imagine being able to memorize math. Did you know that there's a word for being like dyslexic but math, and you can get diagnosed with it?
Dyslexic but math.
Yeah, you look at the numbers and stuff, and it means absolutely nothing. There's an actual.
Relatable.
There's an actual.
I think that's just
diagnosis
called
for that.
calculus.
Calculus is just English.
I
Yes.
wonder I wonder if that's something that I could possibly have, because I swear I've looked at that like really simple equations, and I'm just like, I have no idea what this means. It's funny.
Math is particular. You have to be able to understand math, and it's not something everyone can understand. It's like knowing a different language. If you go to school, depending on what classes you'll take, you'll end up knowing 4 languages by the time you exit high school. You'll know, if you're at an American school, you'll know English, generally a foreign language. You'll also learn music if you're taking music. I strongly believe music is a language. Fight me on that. And then math. Math is literally another language.
Math is interesting. Here's a funny math story. When Twain and I were in middle school, we were part of the
I sucked at
Mathletes
that thing.
Club. It's a pun on athletes. I don't know if it's common. Probably a lot of places have a mathlete team.
Okay.
But Yeah, we met, like, 3 times a week?
Yeah. And we
And-
did math.
7/8 of our meetings were just playing Mafia.
Fair.
It was amazing. We made up entire games. These guys took me out of history class once. She was just like,
Yeah.
bye. That's another example of bad security. If someone walks in and says, hey, can I have so-and-so? They'll give you him. They'll
So,
be
yeah.
gone.
That's a perfect callback
You
to
could
the
kidnap
topic.
people. That'd be so much fun.
Ethical kidnapping? What?
Yeah.
Ethical kidnapping.
It's like one of your friends has a test or something. You just say, "Oh, it'll be really quick," and then you just
And then you
disappear.
don't.
I mean,
Come
people
back.
do that in Proface class all the time. Let's be fair. People just come and go in that class.
Raven, I'm gonna kidnap you.
Well, anyway,
Is that it?
yeah, I think
it.
we've talked about ethical hacking and non-ethical hacking too, but mostly ethical hacking. And ethical hacking is cool. And don't actually do crimes; those are bad. even if-
Consider it as a career field. Ethical hacking, not crimes.
If you
Yeah.
do crimes, don't get caught. For legal purposes, that is a joke.
Okay, Raven. Air quotes.
Yes.
Anyway, goodbye, y'all. Like and subscribe. Enjoy this if you do enjoy this. I don't know what I'm saying.
Enjoy it or
Jesse,
else.
do a closure.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic fitness
Bye.